What happens when two men, with two different worlds, two different minds, both become the leader of the same country? One, a calm professor with a message of hope. The other, a bold businessman with a promise to shake everything up. They led the same nation, but with completely opposite visions. Today we learn English through one of the most fascinating political comparisons of our time, Barack Obama versus Donald Trump. Welcome to Legendary English, where we don't just tell stories, we teach you language through the lives of real people. In this series, you'll improve your English by listening to real-life vocabulary, understanding grammar in context, learning through contrast and comparison, and thinking critically, while having fun. So, get your notebook ready. This is not just politics, it's personality, power, and purpose all in one story. In the next 9 parts, we'll compare their childhoods, their careers, their time as US presidents, their challenges, decisions, and impact. And most of all, the lessons you can learn. Because every story teaches language, and every leader teaches something about life. Behind every leader is a childhood that shaped them. Today, we compare how Barack Obama and Donald Trump were raised and how their early experiences shaped their vision of the world. Barack Obama, the global kid. Barack Hussein Obama II was born in 1961 in Hawaii. His mother was a white American from Kansas. His father was a black man from Kenya. When he was just 2 years old, his father left. Barack grew up with his mother and grandparents. Later, he moved to Indonesia when his mum remarried. He lived in Jakarta, went to school there, and learned what it meant to be different. Obama said, "I learned to see the world not just through American eyes, but through many cultures." His childhood was full of questions. Who am I? Where do I belong? What does it mean to be American? These questions made him curious, thoughtful, and open-minded. Donald Trump, the tough New Yorker. Donald John Trump was born in 1946 in Queens, New York City. He came from a wealthy family. His father, Fred Trump, was a powerful real estate developer. From an early age, Donald was loud, confident, and competitive. But he also had trouble following rules. At age 13, he was sent to military school for discipline. There he learned structure, toughness, and how to lead. Trump often says, "I always knew I was going to be successful. I had to think big." Unlike Obama, Trump never questioned his identity. He believed in winning, power, and making deals, even as a teenager. Education can open doors, but how you use it, that's what makes the difference. Let's see how Barack Obama and Donald Trump used education and early career moves to shape their rise. Barack Obama, law, learning, and listening. Obama studied hard. He attended Occidental College, then transferred to Columbia University in New York. There, he studied political science and began thinking deeply about justice and equality. After working briefly as a community organizer in Chicago, he took a big step. He entered Harvard Law School, one of the best in the world. And there, he made history. He became the first black president of the Harvard Law Review. That wasn't just an honor, it was proof that he could lead with both intelligence and humility. After graduation, he returned to Chicago. He worked as a civil rights lawyer, taught law, helped local communities, and began to build trust with people. Obama said, "Real change happens from the ground up, not from the top down." Donald Trump, business and the big city. Trump stayed close to home. and to the family business. He studied at Fordham University, then transferred to the Wharton School at the University of Pennsylvania. There, he studied economics, but his focus wasn't on theory, it was on real estate. His father had already built a real estate empire in New York. Donald wanted more. Bigger buildings, bigger headlines. Right after college, he joined the Trump Organization. By the 1980s, he was building skyscrapers, casinos, hotels. He put his name on everything. Trump became a brand. Bold, flashy, and unstoppable. Trump said, "If you're going to be thinking anyway, think big." Not everyone becomes a politician the same way. Some build their path slowly, others jump into the spotlight, loud and fast. Today, we compare how Barack Obama and Donald Trump entered politics and how different their approaches were. Barack Obama, the grassroots builder. In the 1990s, Obama returned to Chicago after law school, but instead of chasing power, he served local communities. He worked as a lawyer and taught law, but he also listened to real people, real problems. In 1996, he ran for Illinois State Senate and won. He was calm, thoughtful, and focused on progressive change. In 2004, he made a speech that changed everything. At the Democratic National Convention, he said, "There is not a liberal America and a conservative America. There is the United States of America." That speech went viral. Suddenly, people were talking about him as a future president. In 2005, he entered the US Senate, and just 3 years later, he began his campaign for president. His rise was fast, but built on years of quiet work. Donald Trump, the showman, arrives. Trump had been in the public eye for decades, but not as a politician. He was a businessman, a celebrity, and the host of The Apprentice, a hit reality TV show. He teased the idea of running for president many times in the 1980s, 2000s, and 2010s. But in 2015, he made it official. He walked down the golden escalator in Trump Tower and announced, "I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again." His campaign was loud, controversial, and full of bold promises. He attacked opponents, used social media, and said what others wouldn't. Many laughed at first, but millions listened, and he won the Republican nomination in 2016. Being President of the United States means leading a country of 330 million people, with different dreams, problems, and opinions. Today, we dive into how Barack Obama and Donald Trump each led the same nation, in completely different ways. Barack Obama, the Hope President. Obama became president in 2009 after winning the election with the slogan, "Yes, we can." He entered office during a major financial crisis. His focus was rebuilding the economy, expanding healthcare, Obamacare, ending wars and improving diplomacy, supporting renewable energy and climate action. He spoke calmly, listened to experts, and tried to unite Americans even when they disagreed. Some criticized him for being too slow, too academic. Others admired him for being measured, respectful, and thoughtful. He served 2 terms, 2009-2017, and left office with high approval ratings. Donald Trump, the disruptor. Trump became president in 2017 with the slogan, "Make America Great Again." His focus was different. Cut taxes and reduce regulations, build a border wall, change trade deals, challenge China, fight the media. He used Twitter as his main tool, tweeting ideas, orders, and insults daily. His speeches were aggressive and emotional. He said what many people thought but others feared. His presidency was full of controversy, especially around immigration policies, COVID-19 response, race protests, the 2020 election. He served one term, 2017-2021, and still wants to return. So now that you've seen them both in action, who do you think was the better leader? Comment below with Obama or Trump and tell us why, like if you've learned something new. Subscribe for more English through story. Share this video with someone who loves history and learning. True leadership isn't just about speeches or success. It's about how you handle pressure when the world is watching and things are falling apart. Let's compare how Barack Obama and Donald Trump faced national and global crises and what their reactions teach us about leadership. Barack Obama. Think first, act second. Obama's presidency began in crisis. The 2008 financial meltdown was still shaking the US economy. He worked with economists and Congress to launch a stimulus plan and save industries. Later came other major challenges. The Deepwater Horizon oil spill, 2010. Mass shootings and gun control debates. The rise of ISIS and Middle East tensions. The Ebola outbreak, 2014. His strategy: stay calm, listen to experts, communicate clearly, avoid panic. People sometimes said he was too slow, but rarely reckless. He believed in planning, not reacting. Obama said, "In a crisis, the presidency is not a place for impulsiveness. It's a place for calm." Donald Trump. Act fast, talk louder. Trump's term was filled with one massive crisis after another. The COVID-19 pandemic, Black Lives Matter protests, tensions with North Korea and Iran, the controversial 2020 election aftermath. His style: act quickly, speak boldly, trust gut instincts over experts, control the media narrative. During COVID, he was criticized for downplaying the virus, fighting with scientists, promoting untested treatments, but supporters admired his decisiveness and refusal to back down. Trump said, "When you're in charge, you have to show strength. That's what people want." Being president isn't just about leading behind closed doors. It's about how you present yourself to the public, to the world, and to history. Let's compare the personal image, communication style, and media presence of Barack Obama and Donald Trump. Barack Obama, the storyteller. Obama was known for his powerful speeches, emotional control, and deep thinking. He inspired millions with calm tone, clear messages, poetic storytelling, famous speech moments. Yes, we can. 2008. A More Perfect Union. 2008. Charleston Church shooting eulogy. 2015. He often used humor, empathy, and respect, even when criticized. Obama on social media, professional and thoughtful. On TV, cool, smart, collected. He once said, "I believe in the power of words to inspire and unite." Donald Trump, the performer. Trump was a media master, and he knew it. He spoke with simple emotional language, sharp attacks on opponents, memorable slogans, "Make America Great Again," fake news, "Drain the swamp." He wasn't polished and didn't want to be. His supporters loved that he sounded like a regular person. His critics said he sounded dangerous, angry, or divisive. Trump on social media, bold, fast, often shocking. On TV, unpredictable and direct. He once said, "If you don't have a personality, forget it." Being the President of the United States means you're also a global figure. The world watches, the world reacts, the world remembers. Let's compare how Barack Obama and Donald Trump were seen across the globe and how they shaped international opinion and policy. Barack Obama, the diplomatic icon. When Obama was elected in 2008, the world celebrated. In Europe, Africa, Asia, people called it a symbol of hope and change. He traveled widely, restored relations with countries like Cuba and Iran, won the Nobel Peace Prize in 2009, gave powerful speeches in Berlin, Cairo and Nairobi, supported international climate agreements like the Paris Accord. Global media often described him as smart, respectful, cautious, inspirational. Of course, some criticized him for being too careful or not doing enough, but many saw him as a symbol of global cooperation. Obama said, "America is stronger when we lead not just with power, but with our values." Donald Trump, America first, world shocked. Trump's global image was complicated. His America first policy changed everything. He pulled the US out of the Paris Climate Agreement, cancelled nuclear deals, started trade wars with China, criticized longtime allies like Germany and Canada, praised strong leaders like Putin and Kim Jong-un. He said what others wouldn't, and often broke traditions. Some world leaders feared him, others admired his boldness, but international approval ratings for the US dropped sharply. Trump said, "I was elected to represent the citizens of Pittsburgh, not Paris." Leaving the White House doesn't mean leaving the spotlight. Let's see how Barack Obama and Donald Trump used their time, power, and influence after the presidency, and how their legacies began to form. Barack Obama, the reflective builder. Obama left office in 2017 with dignity and respect. Instead of diving back into politics, he focused on writing his memoir, A Promised Land, creating the Obama Foundation to support young leaders, launching Higher Ground, a production company with Netflix, giving speeches around the world on democracy, climate, and unity. He avoided attacking Trump directly, but made subtle comments on leadership and responsibility. His post-presidency image, wise elder, cultural creator, global teacher. Obama said, "The work doesn't end when you leave office, it just changes." Donald Trump, the fighter returns. Trump left office in 2021, but he didn't leave quietly. He immediately launched Truth Social, his own social media platform, continued holding rallies across the US, challenged the results of the 2020 election, faced investigations, lawsuits, and stayed defiant. Most dramatically, he announced a 2024 presidential comeback campaign. Trump's post-presidency is part politics, part media, part movement. His image, outsider fighting the system, voice of his base, still unpredictable. Trump said, "We're not done, we're just getting started." Two men, two presidencies, two ways to lead, to speak, to inspire, and to divide. Today we look back at what Barack Obama and Donald Trump taught us, not just about politics, but about character, leadership, and language. What we learn from Barack Obama: lead with calm and purpose. He showed that being thoughtful and patient is a kind of strength. Use your voice carefully. Obama chose words that inspired, not attacked. Build from the ground up. His journey from community organizer to president showed the power of slow, steady progress. Respect differences. He believed that unity starts with empathy. Words matter, hope matters, respect matters. What we learn from Donald Trump: confidence moves people. Trump showed how energy, emotion, and boldness create momentum. Own your image. He turned his name into a brand and built a movement around it. Speak directly. His words were simple, clear, and often powerful, even if controversial. Never stop fighting. Love him or hate him, Trump never backed down. You don't win by being polite. You win by being strong. You don't need to choose Obama or Trump. What matters is what you learn from both, because learning English isn't just about grammar, it's about ideas, people, and voices that shape the world. Stay curious, stay critical, and keep growing in English and in life. Thanks for watching Legendary English. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real stories that teach real English.